talk about the politics throughout the years since you've been here, and also some kind of relationship. There's a lot of young people that just don't understand racing and what the appeal was, and I don't want to say gambling, but
the politics is insane. Basically, in 1992, Foxwoods opened up, and Lincoln Downs opened up with slot machines. Foxwoods opened up in February of 92, Foxwoods not until September. But we had handled a little over $200 million the previous year, so in 91. In 92, we handled a little over $90 million. Basically lost 50% of our business in the course of a year, primarily due to Foxwoods and other forms of gambling. They could go there and still do simulcasting. They could go there and play slot machines, play poker, play whatever they wanted to play. We, of course, looked at it. We had a study done, and through the course of 93, basically realized that unless we bring in alternative gaming, the handle will likely continue to decline, and racing would be gone in the not too distant future. We went to the Board of Selectmen here in Salem in probably October or November of 93, and we told them that we felt that the installation of slot machines or electronic games of chance would be appropriate, and that the supplemental revenues would help us to keep purses high and continue to be able to attract quality horses, which would attract quality crowds.
Right.
And we would be able to generate the revenue that the state expected from us, and be able to continue on and improve the product rather than continually watching it decline. But we also told them that we would not move forward with that unless the town was in agreement with us. And they proposed to put a non-binding question on the ballot in March of 94. Without a whole lot of explanation, we really didn't do any advertising, but that question passed by a 53-47% vote. And within a week, a bill was introduced in Concord and ultimately went down in defeat. But we continued to work on it. I think Jean Shaheen became governor in 96. She was supportive. Donna Sitek was elected as Speaker of the House, and Joe Delahunty was elected as President of the Senate. And we went into 96 thinking,
good,
this is terrific.
Yeah.
We have a supportive governor, somebody local in the House and the Senate, and maybe we can get this done. We knew how it would work because they had done it in Delaware in 94, and we were watching those numbers. We actually had the people from the Delaware Lottery come up here and testify in front of the New Hampshire Senate and House. The racing facilities in Delaware were doing quite well. Purses had gone through the roof. Horses were stopping there rather than coming here. But we thought we had a pretty good plan. Regretfully, Donna Sitek came out in opposition. And so far as we know, Joe Delahunty made a deal that he would not allow it to come out of the Senate. But if it did come out of the House, they would likely approve it. Well, of course, Donna wouldn't let it out of the House, and it was defeated. And what was probably our best opportunity that we thought at the time went down in flames. Of course, we continued to work on the project, continued to try to figure out how to compete against Foxwoods, and now Mohegan had opened up. So the handle continued to decline. The horsemen wanted more, and we couldn't afford to pay it. And then ultimately, the closest vote that ever occurred was in 2013, when it had passed the Senate, and it was a tie vote in the House until the think it was the Speaker Pro Tem who broke the tie and killed it by one vote. But regretfully at that time we had 3 Salem representatives, Marilinda Garcia, Bianca Garcia, and Patrick Bick, who voted against it. And had they voted in favor of it, even though the town had reflected an 81% favorability in a recent non-binding election, they voted against it. It lost by 1 vote, and we were never to come that close again. But ultimately, after a 20-year process of trying to get 21 years of trying to get legislation, the owners had used up the money, and it was time to move on.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, you have to recognize that it's just not going to happen.
The people nowadays, their point of view, is it horse racing in itself that they don't like, or is it?
No,
I mean, they seem to go into like the car
I
speedway
think
and
the younger
auto
generation,
stuff.
as you can see by the video games and everything else, are looking for more instantaneous gratification than maybe our generation was. Racing.
You would think it would be just as good because,
Well,
I mean, it's all told in 2 or 3 minutes, and you go through more exciting than scratching a ticket.
You have that 2-minute race, and then you have 20, 25 minutes till the next one, unless you're watching simulcasting.
Right.
But the fact is that to handicap a race is work. To know how to read a racing form, to figure out the different weights, the handicaps, is this jockey as good as that jockey? Is this horse really good, or is he okay when he's on the rail and not when he's off the rail? What's the track condition? Is it too hot today? Is it too cold today? Is it wet? Is it muddy? There's 1,000 factors that you need to take into consideration if you're, appropriately handicapping a race. And younger generations haven't learned and haven't wanted to spend the time to learn. I do think there's a way things could change to make it more interactive to a younger generation and make it more interesting. But regretfully, in most of the country, racing is still operated by people as older than I am. And, a lot of them don't take change easily. But the fact of the matter is it needs to change. And yes, the Kentucky Derby is one of the most watched events in the country. The Breeders' Cup is a great event. But, you need to create customers that are going to be around every week or every day or every month. And until racing makes some changes, I don't see that happening. Right. And it's been discussed for years, but, you need to make the information more available, more interactive, and eventually I think it will be done. I don't know how many tracks will be left at that point in time, but hopefully they can see their way fit to make some changes, make some good ones, and hopefully we won't see too many more of them closed down.
Any closing comments you'd like to make?
Oh, I think I just, I want to thank everybody. The owners, the horsemen, the employees, all the customers. We had a great run, and I'm fortunate to be part of it for 33 years. There aren't a whole lot of people, well, there's a number of us, I guess, but not a whole lot that had the ability to see it from inside and out for a 33-year period and see the magic. And it was magic, there's no question about it. And the memories that are out there will last forever. And they all sound to be like good ones, so that's a good thing. We accomplished something.
Thank you for being on Around Town.
Thank you, Larry. It's a pleasure.